Have you ever wondered what it takes to change a person's mind? Especially when that person is a hardened guerrilla fighter. Today, we're diving into the shocking truth behind the Lawrence Massacre and the incredible transformation of one such fighter. But first, let's set the stage with a story that might seem unrelated at first, but trust me, it holds the key to understanding this transformation. Picture this: a musty old mill, a fierce-tempered uncle, and a little girl who dared to defy expectations. This isn't just any story, it's a tale of unexpected power and courage. Darby, a young boy at the time, stood frozen, watching his uncle approach the little girl. He was certain he was about to witness a murder. But then, something extraordinary happened. The girl, with a voice that could shatter glass, screamed, "And why Mammy's gotta have that 50 cents?" Her defiance was palpable, and in that moment, the uncle's fierce demeanor melted away. He handed over the money, conquered not by force, but by the sheer determination of a child. This story, as recounted by Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, isn't just about a child's courage. It's about the intangible power that can sway even the most unyielding hearts. Hill spent a quarter of a century studying this power, a force that can turn the tide in the most unexpected ways. But what does this have to do with the Lawrence Massacre and a guerrilla fighter's change of heart? Let's fast forward to the tumultuous times of the American Civil War. The Lawrence Massacre, a brutal attack led by Confederate guerrillas, was one of the bloodiest events of the era. It left a scar on the town of Lawrence, Kansas, and on the conscience of one particular guerrilla fighter. This fighter, known for his ruthlessness, experienced a transformation that left many baffled. What could possibly alter the mindset of someone so entrenched in violence? To understand this, we must delve into the nature of decisions and the courage required to make them. Hill speaks of great decisions throughout history that were made with the understanding of immense risk. Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, Socrates' acceptance of his fate, and the signing of the Declaration of Independence, all were decisions that required courage beyond measure. They were decisions that changed the course of history. In the case of our guerrilla fighter, his transformation was sparked by a decision that required similar courage. It was not a decision made in the heat of battle, but rather in the quiet moments of reflection that followed. Much like the little girl in the mill, something within him demanded change. It was a moment of clarity, a realization that the path of violence was not the only way. Now you might be wondering, what exactly triggered this change? Was it a single event, a conversation, or perhaps a moment of introspection? The truth is, it was a combination of all these elements. Just as the little girl's unwavering demand for 50 cents was a catalyst for change, so too was a seemingly small incident for our guerrilla fighter. It was an encounter with a civilian, a moment of unexpected kindness amidst the chaos of war. This act of humanity planted a seed of doubt in his mind, a question that grew louder with each passing day. Is there a better way? This brings us back to the concept of intangible power that Hill so passionately explores. It's a power that resides within each of us, waiting to be harnessed. For our guerrilla fighter, it was the power of empathy, of seeing the world through the eyes of those he once considered enemies. It was the realization that true strength lies not in domination, but in understanding and compassion. As we reflect on this transformation, it's important to recognize the broader implications. The Lawrence Massacre and the guerrilla fighter's change of heart serve as a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is potential for light. It challenges us to consider our own lives and the decisions we make. Are we driven by fear and force, or do we tap into the power of empathy and understanding? In today's world, where division and conflict often seem insurmountable, the lessons from this story are more relevant than ever. They remind us that change is possible, even for those who seem beyond redemption. It's about finding the courage to make decisions that align with our highest values, and recognizing that true power comes from within. So, the next time you find yourself at a crossroads, remember the little girl in the mill and the guerrilla fighter who dared to change. remember that within you lies the power to transform not just your own life, but the world around you. And as you ponder this, ask yourself, what decision will you make today that could alter the course of your life? What strange power will you tap into to conquer the challenges you face? In the end, the shocking truth behind the Lawrence Massacre isn't just about a guerrilla's change of mind. It's about the power of the human spirit to rise above, to choose courage over fear, and to find redemption in the most unlikely places. It's a story that continues to inspire, urging us to look beyond the surface and discover the transformative power within us all. As the guerrilla fighter stood on the precipice of his own transformation, he began to piece together the fragments of a life built on conflict. Each memory was a brick in the wall he had constructed around his heart, insulating him from empathy and understanding. Yet, this wall, once thought impenetrable, was now crumbling under the weight of introspection and the undeniable truth of his own humanity. He recalled the encounter that had first planted the seed of doubt, an old woman, clutching a bundle of tattered clothes, who had offered him a simple meal during a moment of unexpected respite. Her eyes, filled with a mixture of fear and compassion, had pierced through his hardened exterior. She spoke few words, yet her gesture spoke volumes. Even in war, we must remember our humanity. This act of kindness had lingered in his mind, challenging the narrative he had long clung to. It was as if a veil had been lifted, revealing the stark contrast between the violence he had perpetuated and the peace he so desperately yearned for. The realization that he was not alone in this yearning was both a comfort and a catalyst for change. As days turned into nights, the guerrilla fighter found himself haunted by dreams that blurred the lines between past and present. Faces of those he had wronged appeared before him, not as adversaries, but as fellow souls caught in the tumult of a world gone awry. Each dream was a reminder of the shared humanity that lay beneath the surface of conflict. In these moments of solitude, he began to understand the true essence of courage. It was not the absence of fear, but the willingness to confront it. It was the decision to choose empathy over enmity, to seek reconciliation instead of revenge. He realized that the power to change lay not in grand gestures, but in the quiet resolve to do better, to be better. The transformation was not instantaneous, nor was it easy. It was a gradual awakening, a process of unlearning and relearning, of forgiveness and acceptance. He began to see his former enemies as allies in the pursuit of peace, recognizing that their struggles mirrored his own. As he journeyed through this transformation, the guerrilla fighter became a beacon of hope for others. He shared his story, not as a tale of redemption, but as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. He spoke of the power of choice, of the courage it takes to break the cycle of violence, and embrace the possibility of a new beginning. In the years that followed, his legacy grew, inspiring countless others to seek their own paths of transformation. The Lawrence Massacre, once a symbol of brutality, became a reminder of the profound impact that a single act of kindness can have. It taught those who would listen that change is not only possible, but necessary in a world that often forgets the power of empathy and understanding. And so the story of the guerrilla fighter and the little girl in the mill lived on, a narrative woven into the fabric of history. It served as a beacon, guiding those at crossroads to choose courage over fear, empathy over enmity. It was a call to action, urging each of us to harness the strange and powerful force within us to create a world where compassion triumphs over conflict, where understanding paves the way for peace. In the end, the real transformation was not just of one man's heart, but of a collective consciousness, awakening to the truth that within each of us lies the power to change the world.